Welcome back. I'm Karen, founder and managing director of Orchid Leadership Coaching and Consultancy Limited, encouraging you to embrace the leader within. Whether you are a CEO leading a company, an executive leading a team of innovators, an emerging entrepreneur, or a working or stay-at-home parent leading the family and home. Now's the time to embrace the future, empower the new you. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of Enlightened Leadership Coaching Snippets, a new season of podcasts linking to empowerment, mindfulness, and well-being within leadership. In this episode, we'll be deep diving into mindfulness practices for growth mindset leaders. If you missed our earlier episodes, don't worry. They're available to download on numerous major podcast platforms. Do ensure to subscribe or follow so not to miss out on future upcoming episodes. Getting back to today's episode, focusing on mindfulness practices for growth mindset leaders. I'd like to begin by asking, are you a growth mindset leader? You may ask in return, what is a growth mindset leader? And that's okay. An equally valid question is, how do you know if you are a growth mindset leader? A growth mindset, as described by Carol Dweck, is a belief that while individuals are different in many ways, in terms of their initial performance, interests, talents and skills, everyone can improve, change, and grow through application and experience. Quite simply, to have a growth mindset involves embracing rather than fearing challenge, viewing somebody else's success as a starting point of inspiration rather than a threat, perceiving your failures or mistakes as a learning opportunity or process, rather than a lack of worth or not being good enough. A person with a growth mindset sees no limit to their learning, rather than restricting their capacity. When considering whether you have a fixed or growth mindset, ask yourself, when was the last time you challenged yourself on something you considered a weakness? What actions did you take? What was the outcome? Did the actions lead to new learning? What was the seed that stimulated the need to challenge yourself? Let's dig a little deeper and bring some clarity to today's theme of mindfulness practices for growth mindset leaders. So why is it that many of us close ourselves off to growth and waste energy maintaining a fixed mindset? Well, we may have negative emotions blocking our perception of growth and potential. We may also have limiting beliefs about who we are, who we see in the mirror, about our capacity and self-worth, all linking to our existing neuroprogramming, or how our brains are wired and programmed towards certain beliefs, thoughts and behaviours. This, however, can be changed. We have the power to reprogram and reset. So, if we make that intentional decision to move from fixed mindset to growth mindset, how do we begin to install a growth mindset? Where do we begin? Focus on the hard stuff, rather than focusing on what is within reach. Look for the weakness. Look for the challenge that will create a shift. When you focus on the hard stuff, or perhaps something new, you are breaking new ground, creating healthy challenge, an opportunity for innovation, creativity, and growth into new areas of knowledge and application. I can offer countless examples of this from over the last 18 months in setting up my own business. Each day I have challenged myself in new areas of learning, making a business plan, registering a business in an overseas country where I reside, content creation, digital and network marketing, my first tax submission as a company. All very fearful areas to embark upon, yet also exciting in their challenge. Did I think my limiting beliefs of lack of worth, imposter syndrome, of not knowing what to do I think that would stop me? Quite honestly, yes, sometimes. There were moments when I wondered, what on earth was I thinking? Yet, keeping the big goal firmly in place and knowing the destination I'd planned to journey towards has kept me on track. Each day bringing new challenges, new learnings, and certainly new growth and impact. I can honestly say that I've created a new person over the last 18 months. Someone I really admire and am proud of. What areas of growth are you proud of? Celebrate that for a moment. Another area to consider is to try innovative solutions. And if they don't work, try some more. View mistakes as a learning opportunity and stepping stones towards success, rather than viewing failure and a closed door. Building resilience involves failing and getting up again until you succeed. Mistakes open your mind to other possibilities, leading to innovation and very often creative ideas you would otherwise not have thought of. Don't be afraid to fail. Welcome it as a gateway to success and to your biggest breakthroughs. Seek honest, constructive feedback from peers, team members, and even family members. See yourself as a work in progress, as always developing, giving yourself permission to be good so that you don't need to wait for perfection to try something new. Develop a routine of reflective practice. This isn't about procrastinating over what went wrong. It instead is reviewing alternate strategies to produce different outcomes, anticipating even more impact and enhancing skills and implementation as to the impact made in ourselves and others. Look out for areas of fixed mindset. This could be where you make initially thought of as valid excuses for not attempting something new. Now, you can't necessarily have a growth mindset about everything all of the time. However, you can notice when you're talking yourself out of trying something new because you're afraid. So, here are some additional traits of growth mindset leaders. Being present in mind as well as body. Modeling and advocating active listening. Promoting a coaching culture. Being open-minded and curious. Embracing change and being your own disruptor by drawing attention to areas or habits you want to change. Being prepared to think differently and being open to inner work. Being self-aware and self-regulating, modeling emotional intelligence and compassion. Also, setting SMART goals and showing strong situational awareness. A readiness to step outside and lead outside your comfort zone. Being receptive to feedback, recognizing and rewarding the value of learning and failure, whilst also recognizing the opportunity that lies within a challenge. Learning with others to remain agile, avoiding micromanaging and instead advocating the promotion of the 3 A's of autonomy, alignment and accountability, and of the 3 C's of communication, collaboration and commitment. Promotion of inclusion and diversity, being persistent and reflective whilst also taking ownership and accountability. Assuming we are on the journey to being a growth mindset leader, how do we infuse that with mindfulness? How do we also become a mindful leader? does mindfulness look like to you? As we start to include mindfulness practices into our leadership journey and lives, there is an inner change that happens. People will often see a difference in how we react, our ability to let go, and our courage to say what's important. When we are more present, when we listen to learn, when we are being the best version of ourselves, it has a powerful ripple effect on the world around us. The world around us presently is quite a stressful environment, affecting us in our home and work environments. The key to thriving and not merely surviving may lie within mindfulness, gently noticing what's going on in the present moment without passing judgment. In the workplace and home, this may reflect a present-focused consciousness. As a mindful leader, we are not dwelling in the past or worrying about the future. We are simply being in the here and now. This includes noticing what is happening without evaluating, analyzing, or judging it. As a mindful leader, our focus allows us to sustain our attention. We might focus on something specifically, such as our breathing. By doing so, we can realize when our attention has wandered. We observe it and redirect it without judgment. Clarity helps us to see what is, not what we expect to see or what we hope will be. As we bring more mindfulness into our lives and leadership, we begin to see our own conditioning, perceptions, biases, and filters. Mindfulness prioritizes the creation of space for creativity and innovation, with compassion helping us to make choices, with the understanding that we are all in this together, enabling a deep understanding of what is through empathy. Our ability to connect enables us a connection to our deeper self, our values, our ethics, creating opportunities to initiate change by collaborating and listening with open curiosity. We may wonder, what kind of added edge does this offer us as leaders? When able to focus on one's awareness of the present moment, whilst calmly aware and accepting of emotions, feelings, thoughts, and sensations, we are able to lessen the effects of stress in our work and home lives. Simple practices such as meditation or a few minutes of breathing exercises can combat the effects of stress on the mind and body, allowing us to bring our A game to our work and families. With focus comes attention and concentration to singular rather than multitask projects, and being able to see things through a successful outcome. We also experience greater work-life integration, where committing to mindfulness practices helps us in forging a stronger inner awareness that exists when all aspects of our lives are aligned and in harmony, and where we feel we are living a life that is well lived. Mindful practices such as meditation, self-awareness, breath work keeps us grounded. As we move forward in our leadership journey, some of us can become out of touch, set in our ways, closed to new ideas. Mindful practices helps us to be more aware of our surroundings, curious about our environment, and open-minded towards new possibilities. This gives us a more empathetic presence with our teams and family members at home. When we practice mindfulness, we gain greater clarity. We break through the fog and arrive at sharper thinking. Calming our mind through meditation, breathwork, or focusing exercises gives us clarity to tackle issues from a different viewpoint and to see solutions that were not earlier visible. So, you have developed a growth mindset as a leader and are integrating mindfulness practices into your day by making an intentional decision to be present and mindful. Is it enough? What about everyone else? At work? At home? We can introduce and encourage mindfulness practices with others. For example, pausing at the beginning of a meeting or family discussion and inviting everyone to take 60 seconds to do whatever they need to do to be present. This could be taking several mindful breaths. It could be a quick stretch. It could even be getting rid of any distractions, such as a text or an email. By starting with a moment of presence, this practice not only builds momentum of focused engagement, but also helps to create a culture of mindfulness. Also, allow a gap between meetings. Whether face-to-face or online, Zoom fatigue is just as much on the rise as mental burnout. A small gap will help increase focus, productivity, and well-being. As leaders, we need to be aware of our response from other perspectives. Ensuring calmness when contemplating and sending an email, for example, can gain a far more positive reception. We also should model taking regular breaks away from the computer or desk to allow others to feel comfortable, and that taking a break can lead to greater efficiency. Also, encourage single tasking to create focus and successful outcomes. Also consider advocating slowing down and reflective practice, enabling greater productivity and efficiency. We mentioned earlier about emotional intelligence, self-awareness, self-regulation, as well as empathy and compassion. Exercising gratitude and cultivating humility enables resilience and growth. Being grateful for the little things, noticing the details in life and things that are going well. Something essential is accepting that which you cannot change. To be mindful is to accept the present moment for what it is. This includes accepting ourselves simply the way we are. So, when we consider the content of what we share together, where are you in your journey? Are you a growth mindset leader? Do you apply mindfulness practices in your daily routine as a leader, at work and at home? Do you start your day with a few moments of conscious awareness to become aware of your thoughts and to become totally present? Do you apply active listening to carefully consider other people's perspectives and ideas? How do you refresh your energy and thoughts throughout a day? Do you integrate breaks to regain perspective and rejuvenate energy? How humble and non-judgmental are you when you interact with others? Do you stop, take a breath, observe, and then proceed in order to cultivate patience? A challenge I lay before you. Take measure of your mindfulness as a growth mindset leader. Reflect on who you see looking back at you in the mirror and who you want to see. Perhaps, if open and curious, dip your toes into a reflective start to meditation. Begin by sitting comfortably and closing your eyes. Notice the sensations of your breath. Practice some conscious breath work before going further. Breathing in deeply, holding slightly, and breathing out deeply. Repeat a few times, allowing your body to relax. Breathing in deeply, holding slightly, and breathing out deeply. Be aware of your environment, the immediate space around you. Then be aware of your body, of your toes, your ankles, your stomach, your arms, your shoulders, your neck, your head. Allow your mind to let go of distractions. Let go of the pressures of the day. Let go of the thoughts that try and interrupt you. When ready, bring to mind a person you believe embodies leadership excellence. This could be someone you know personally or a leader you have read about. Can you picture that person? Ask yourself the following questions, allowing yourself some time to let the answers arise. Why did this person come to mind? What is it about this person's leadership that made you think of him or her when asked about leadership excellence? Be patient. Hold the question in your mind with a sense of openness and curiosity. You don't need to overthink the question. Set aside the first answer or two to see if more qualities emerge. As you do this, gently become aware of your environment as you gradually open your eyes. You may find it helpful to write your answers on a piece of paper. Observe what came up for you. When looking at your responses to the reflection questions, you might have noticed that they did not include too many of the typical measures of organizational leadership. For example, you probably didn't mention an ability to make quarterly targets. Rather, your list might have included respectful, humble, open thinker, compassionate, clear vision, inspirational, innovative, great listener, creative, patient, collaborative, kind, or maybe a good teacher. After this reflective practice, what's your next step? How will it add to your leadership journey? Feel free to share some of your follow-up actions with me on any of my social media platforms, or alternatively, share a comment with me right here after listening. I look forward to our next podcast session, where we will be deep diving into the new norm leader, being a VUCA warrior. So make sure you tune in and engage with me after the session about your thoughts and personal takeaways. Until then, please remember, if this podcast episode added any value to your day or evening, download it, share it with your colleagues and friends, and of course ensure to follow or subscribe so that you don't miss out on future episodes. And remember, embrace the future, empower the new you, awaken the leader within, and let's take back control of our aspirations. Thanks for listening.